All right, everyone. So we're talking about week 4 of this cycle. It's going to be Monday, July 25th through Sunday, July 31st. So the month of July is wrapping up inside of this week. So some of the things we want to talk about in terms of this week is that in the 4th week of any training cycle, generally this is really kind of when the rubber meets the road. Things are starting to really feel. You might be bumping up against your current capacity. Doubtful conversations might be going on in the brain. A lot of these things kind of start to trickle in. And that's okay. That's the point of what we do when we're training, and that's why we operate off of 5-week cycles. But I want you to be aware of that before you dive into this 4th week. Now, the Metcons this week, some of them on paper can look fun or they can look intimidating. It's generally going to look one of two things. And this is done for a very intentional reason, but what I want you to think about is this, is that you can be successful inside of any type of format. The intended stimulus is the most important thing. What I mean by that is kind of the purpose of the workout, but what we really want to focus on is how can you be successful inside of this training week, regardless of what you see on paper, regardless of how well you think others might do. So this week, I want to touch on a few different workouts and kind of guide you through that. So in terms of the strength movements, what you can find is that the bench press is going up to 4 sets and it's going to go down to 6 reps. I'm still looking for an increase of only 5 pounds here and really work on that control and that drive out of the bottom of those reps. The squats, we're going 3 sets of 6. We're looking for 5, maybe 10 pounds, but that's really indicative of how well is your position and your shape in the bottom of that squat and how well can you repeat that position, not just one time, but across all 3 sets. The deadlifts are the deadlifts. I've been kind of beating this drum for a couple weeks. Deadlift is not how much can you pull off of the ground, it's how well can you create tense position and push your feet into the floor and hinge at the hips. If you feel like your position is being compromised, just back things off, right? There's no sense in trying to reach any sort of landmark achievements inside of this cycle. That's not what it's designed to do. It's designed to help build familiarity and consistency overall. The weightlifting, you're going to see snatching this week, and with that, the thing is we're just looking for an increase of possibly 5 pounds, maybe 10, but it's about good positions, right? It's about can you move well and can you be successful in your technique on a shortened, compressed time frame. So let's talk about some workouts. The first one I want to talk about is on Monday. It's called Torpedo Candy Cane. I'm going to read both formats and then we'll talk about it. They're very similar. So for my RX Plus athletes, on a 17-minute clock, we are looking at 3 front squats. We are looking at 5 shuttle runs and 7 handstand push-ups with a 15-second break. For my RX athletes, we're looking at 3 front squats, 5 shuttle runs, 7 push-ups with a 15-second break, all inside of 17 minutes. Now, the only thing that is different between the two groups of athletes is going to be the weight on the front squat. 185 and 125 is the suggested weight for the RX Plus athletes, 135-95 for the RX athletes. Regardless of where you fall, right, you can obviously go north or south of both of those numbers. It's really about position and it's twofold. The upper back and the midline position are 2 pivotal factors in the front squat. Never going to fail front squat because your legs don't show up. It's always going to be because that upper back caves. Well, oddly enough or coincidentally enough, the bottom of the handstand push-up is eerily similar in shape to the top of the front squat, right? It's a front rack position, right? And how well we can be successful in completing multiple reps in handstand push-ups is really indicative of how well can we maintain a solid and sound position in the bottom of your handstand. Now, when we're looking at hand release push-ups, right, that straight arm stack shoulder position requires a lot of midline strength. Well, so does the front squat, right? If the midline goes, so does the upper back. So you can see how these 2 positions are going to kind of chew at each other, but that is the secret sauce of today's workout. Don't base your workout on some weight that you hope to do. Base your workout off of how well can you move in certain shapes. Choose a weight that you know you can be successful with, not a weight that you hope to lift. All right, barbells are going to come off the floor, and so that's going to add another layer of spice. But ultimately, I think this is going to be a great week to kick off your training. Then we're going to move forward to Thursday. You got this quick AMRAP, 10 minutes. It's called Damn It. It's kind of how it feels. It's 7 power snatches and 21 wall balls, rinse and repeat for 10 minutes. The key here is not necessarily the movements. The key here is this: how well are you, or how willing are you able to work at the edge of your capacity, and what kind of conversation are you having with yourself? Do you see the value in that space? Or do you back away from that every time you get there? Does it kind of make you a little bit afraid, right? Increasing our fitness levels, right? Increasing our ability to, air quotes, suffer is not necessarily the goal here. But what is the goal is how well do you talk to yourself when you're experiencing some sort of discomfort. Right? You are driving the bus here. You have the keys to the bus in terms of how much you want to go, how fast you want to go. But what I would suggest is this: be willing to spend some time in that space that's uncomfortable and be grateful for that moment. There's a lot to be learned there if you can do that. Now, the last workout I want to highlight is this. It's going to be on Friday, and it's one of my favorites. It's called Snack Williams, and it's a commentary on how well you breathe aerobically in 3 different positions: the echo bike, running, and the skier. It starts off with the 15-second max effort echo bike sprint, and I mean max effort, everything you got, followed by a run. RX plus athletes 400 meters, RX athletes 300. You come in for a 10-second rest. This is just enough to remember your name, and then 60 seconds, max distance on the ski erg. What you will find is that these 3 different shapes are going to require that you move air effectively and efficiently throughout the entire time. And this is the basis of CrossFit. It's not about how much you can lift, it's how well can you move and how well can you breathe for an extended period of time. Overall, we're really looking forward to this training week. There's a lot of fun things, but at the end of the day, it's week 4. Spend some time, show up for yourself, and have fun.